I'm meeting a lot of real people who are stepping up to run. That's what our founding fathers envisioned. Real citizens stepping forward to help lead. And then stepping away and not becoming political creatures that want to be, political insiders for the rest of their life. I don't have political aspirations other than getting in here, cleaning up Arizona, getting us on the right track.
Hey there, folks. As promised, another exciting guest. I got to tell you, we're going through tough times in America, but constantly I get encouraged. For example, I meet people and I think, oh my goodness, who is this person? Where have they been? And what? They're running for governor? This is great news. So Exhibit A today is Kari Lake running to be governor of Arizona. Praise the Lord for that. Kari Lake, welcome.
Thank you, Eric. I'm so excited to be on your show. Finally, we've been trying to make this happen, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
Well, listen, I'm not kidding. You know, I'm not a smoke blower. I don't just say stuff. I mean, it was very encouraging to me to meet you and to realize who you are, how strong you are on the right side of the issues, that you're not ashamed to talk about faith and courage and truth and loving America and election fraud, all these things that most Americans take very, very seriously, but which, the rhino figures, the establishment figures shrink from foolishly. So I want to get your story, but first of all, let's get the headline. When did you decide to run for governor? When is the election? What is that looking like at this point for you?
Well, I threw my hat into the ring June 1st, but let me backtrack a little bit. I covered Arizona as a journalist, a fair journalist, for 27 years, and I had a very successful career. I was at the height of my career, making a huge paycheck, working really hard, #1 in ratings for over 22 years. And I started to see all the propaganda that was seeping in, even with the so-called good guys in the media. And I realized that that was becoming an immoral line of work. So with the help of God, I found the courage to walk away from that. And when I did so, I put out a video to the good people of Arizona. And I told them, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. I'm not interested in giving you half-truths. I want the full truth. And as long as the propaganda push is happening, I can't be the honest journalist I want to be, so I'm stepping away. And the people were so moved by that, they encouraged me to run for office. I thought it was actually kind of funny at first, because here I'm walking away from the corrupt world of media, and the people of Arizona are encouraging me to run and go into the more corrupt world of politics. But it became a steady drumbeat, dozens upon dozens of people saying, please, no, we're serious. Please run for office. We need somebody with integrity. And so I thought, well, this is maybe what God had freed me up for. He gave me the courage to walk away, and we need strong leaders who are not afraid to do the right thing. And I'm obviously not afraid of being canceled. I don't care what they say about me. They write attack pieces on me every day. I am doing this to help save this great state of Arizona. We need to save this border state. If we lose another border state to a radical leftist or a rhino, frankly, we'll get the same outcome. Open borders, we'll get fentanyl pouring in, we'll have human smuggling, we'll have corrupt elections, and we will see the end of this great country.
There's no doubt about it. And anyone paying any attention knows that this is true. So it is really horrifying when you realize there's some people who don't get this or don't care. I mean, you just referred to the propaganda and how you felt that at some point as a journalist, it feels immoral. You feel like you're participating in something that it doesn't just go against your own personal values, but your ethics as a journalist. You get into something that purports to put out facts and truth. It's a vital piece of a free country, and you see it going in a certain direction. So my thesis is that most Americans, or enough Americans, see this, and they're looking for leadership. They're looking for people like you to step up. They're looking to people like me to simply say these things so that they know that they're not the only ones thinking them. So when I met you at Mar-a-Lago, right? I want people to know, like, I don't hang out at Mar-a-Lago. It was the premiere of the film 2000 Mules, and I met all kinds of people that night. And Mike Lindell introduced me to you. And once I got to understand where you're coming from, I I really thought, I almost can't believe this. What great news that you are running for governor.
Oh,
But I mean it. I want to say thank you to you, because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do that.
thanks.
I'm so grateful that you do want to do it. And how do the prospects look at this point? Is it worth talking about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, when I used to work at the TV station, we used to sit there and watch all the political ads. We had to watch them; they were running right in front of us. And I would say to my partner, my co-anchor, I would say, "Why would anyone in their right minds get into this? These attack ads are horrible.
Right.
Who in their right mind? No wonder we keep getting bad political leaders because the process is so disgusting and grueling. And I'm in it, so I can tell you, I've had 16 million in ads aimed at me against me by my opponent. A record number. Never spent more money on a statewide race in the history of Arizona than this race, and we haven't even gotten through it. We're only in the primary part. But we're doing great. We're 20 points up in our internal polling. I am running against a true rhino. And let me tell you, she's attacking me because she's afraid that people will learn what she's been up to, which is she's an open borders. She gave when she was on the Board of Regents, she gave illegal immigrants a lower tuition than American students. She voted to raise fees and tuition at our universities more than 70 times. And she has worked to defeat really promising and good pro-life legislation and worked to expand gun-free zones. So she's not a conservative, but she's trying to act like she is, and
I mean,
it's very dangerous.
it's hard
Scary.
to now. Can you say her name? Is that okay or no?
Yeah, I'll say it. Karen Robeson.
Okay, so
She's
she is a Republican. And this
in
is
name only.
this is right, but this is why we want to understand why we are where we are today. Because these people, we assumed, basically are towing the line ideologically, maybe not in everything, but you find out time and time again that you might as well have Bernie Sanders in there. It is absolutely monstrous that somebody who runs as a Republican on all of these issues is against the will of most American people, but gets away with it because there's no place to go until now, because Kari Lake is running for governor.
Well, and this is what we've been up against. I mean, the rhinos are just as bad as the liberals, and in some ways worse, because you think they're going to do the right thing, and then you're left disappointed when they don't. And so that's why it's such a danger. But we're doing great. Our polls are showing we're up, and we just have to make sure that we get out and vote August 2nd. That's when the big election is. And this will be one, I believe, in the primary, because I don't think that the Democrat running, who is truly socialist Democrat, has a snowball's chance in hell to win.
Okay, so August 2nd is the primary. Right now you're up 20 points. But the typical thing is people say, well, she doesn't need my vote. She's up 20 points. Folks, I got to tell you, we're in a war right now. And if we do not elect people like Kari Lake, it's over for America. We've kind of pushed this as far as it can go. It's kind of like with a debt situation, right? Like, how far can you go out before it's over? You're bankrupt. You got to give up the house. It's over. We're there in America in terms of freedom and these things. We've pushed these things out. And I think the good news, Kari, is that things have gotten so bad that people are waking up. Things have gotten so bad that people like you are running. Otherwise, we would continue along with the person you're running against as, that's what we got as the GOP person. So in a sense, I'm hopeful because things have gotten so bad that people really are waking up.
When the people of Arizona were saying, would you please consider running, a friend sat me down and he said, I think you really need to look at doing this, because here's who's running. Here we've got the Democrat. We know she's a socialist, and her idea of utopia is the garbage that's happening in California, and that's how she sees a vision for Arizona. And then we have the people running on the Republican ticket. They're lifelong lobbyists, and they have pushed for really horrible things. One of them had lobbied for the CCP and the Confucius Institute. And thankfully, we exposed that, and he's fallen in the polls. But this other one is truly pushing for a liberal agenda and hiding behind her Republican moniker, which is really frightening. She's an insider. So we just need some real people to step up and run. I'm encouraged by it. I'm meeting a lot of real people who are stepping up to run. That's what our founding fathers envisioned. Real citizens stepping forward to help lead. and then stepping away and not becoming political creatures that want to be, political insiders for the rest of their life. I don't have political aspirations other than getting in here, cleaning up Arizona, getting us on the right track.
Well, it's almost funny, really, because there's no way, and this is what I was mentioning in my book, if you can keep it. I mean, it really struck me when I finally saw how clear this is. You cannot have genuine self-government and American-style freedom on the founder's vision. You cannot have it unless most people understand the idea of virtue, understand the idea of faith and honesty. And when you're dealing with that, when you have rampant corruption, it all falls apart. There's just no way to do it. That's really what communism is. That's what the whole Marxist world, there's a cynicism. Everybody knows that we don't know who to trust. We don't trust the media. The government's corrupt. And everyone kind of looks out for themselves and does whatever they need to do. And that's, of course, where one slides as we slide away from the ideas of the founder's vision of freedom and virtue and these kinds of things. And it's amazing that things have gotten so bad that we have to rehearse the basics, that we have to talk about bringing God back in. But it's not the imposition of anything. It's really simply pointing people to the beginning. And you're a woman of faith. Have you always been a woman of faith?
I have. I mean, I grew up going to Sunday school every week. Sometimes I didn't want to get up and go to Sunday school, but I'm so glad that I had that foundation. It pains me to think that so many kids are growing up in atheist households where they don't even understand. They don't even have the basic understanding of the Ten Commandments or even know that the Bible exists because it's never been introduced. As a lot of people in my 20s and 30s, I kind of put my faith on the back burner a little bit with my career picking up, and I worked weekends all the time. But we are very close to our faith right now. We have joined a new church that we love during COVID because our old church shut down and was by appointment only. So I think we've had a big change in even the way we celebrate and worship Jesus because our churches, we saw them shut down. And we learned a lot about who the true folks were in Christianity, who stayed open, who said, no, please come in. We won't shut our doors. We won't close this down. And it's been an eye-opening epiphany for a lot of people.
Absolutely. We're out of time, but I just want to say, folks, this is good news. Kari Lake is running for the governorship in Arizona, August 2nd. Please take this seriously. Kari Lake, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric. I look forward to coming back on.